As you remember from voir dire jury selection, I represent Dr. Paul, and this is the first opportunity that I will have throughout this trial to speak to you directly. And as I told you downstairs while we were selecting you as jurors on the voir dire, I've got to speak directly to you to try to persuade you to think of this case in the terms that Dr. Paul thinks of this case, because Dr. Paul believes truly he committed no wrong, committed no malpractice, and did not injure Patricia Shane. We hope that at the conclusion of this case you will feel the same way that Dr. Paul does. One of the things about this case that you will find as we get further into it is that there are extensive medical records, extensive hospital records, not to mention that Patricia Shane has given sworn testimony and examination before trial testimony in which she has testified under oath as to the things that transpired from March through October of 1999. As this case unfolds before you, I hope that you will take the opportunity to think about what those records reveal, and you will find that they were made contemporaneous with the events as they occurred and are not now subject to, let's say, elusive memory in a court of law for possibly ulterior motives. I think you are going to find that our story begins with Pat Shane in March of 1999 when she presents at Syosset Hospital emergency room because she has chronic abdominal pain. She first comes under the care of Dr. Andrew Paul at Syosset Hospital. He is called in by the emergency room physician as a consultant to find out, if he can, clinically at that point what Pat Shane's problems are. And as you know from the other attorneys who have preceded me, Pat had, up to that point, lots of problems. He had, after clinical examination of her, come to the impression that her problem was due to abdominal disease, that is, adhesive disease. Within her abdomen and pelvis there was extraordinary amounts of scar tissue caused probably as a result of one of two things, either because Pat Shane had and was possibly still suffering from pelvic inflammatory disease, or because she had in her past extensive abdominal surgery. Both of these conditions, in combination or alone, can cause this so-called adhesive disease. You are going to find, as we talk about this case, and as you get testimony from the witnesses who come before you, most of which will be surgeons and internists, you will learn that the organs within the abdominal cavity in a normal, healthy person are lubricated, are free-moving, and shouldn't cause pain as you sit, stand, or move about. When you have adhesive disease, scar tissue is found within that abdominal cavity which binds these organs together. And as one moves, one sits. Pain is caused because those organs are bound together one with the other. So back in March of 1999, on a clinical basis, that is, on an examination basis, Dr. Saul's impression was that Pat's pain was the result of this adhesive disease. And in order to come to some sort of diagnosis as to whether or not she had this disease, a look into the abdomen was necessary. I know from the opening statement of my adversary to you, he conceded that Dr. Saul is a recognized expert in a new form of technology. It's not all that new, but certainly it's an obvious advance, namely laparoscopy. Now, without getting into too much technical detail, and certainly Dr. Saul can explain it much better than I can, it's the use of essentially a telescope to look over the intestine.